Margaret had always been the picture of determination. At 72, she believed wholeheartedly in the mantra, "Keep moving to stay young." Retirement gave her the freedom to fill her days with endless activity, whether it was deep cleaning her house, volunteering at the local library, or taking long walks through her neighborhood. She thrived on the sense of accomplishment, priding herself on her energy and independence. But over time, Margaret's body began to send signals she couldn't ignore. Her knees ached as she climbed stairs, her back tensed after hours of standing, and even her morning walks left her feeling drained instead of invigorated. Despite the signs, she pushed herself harder, believing that slowing down meant giving in to old age. Then came the breaking point. One evening, after a particularly active day spent rearranging her garden, Margaret felt an unfamiliar heaviness in her chest. It wasn't a heart attack, but the scare sent her to her doctor for a thorough checkup. What the doctor told her was unexpected. "Margaret," he began gently, "you've been doing too much for your age. You're not allowing your body the rest and recovery it needs. Movement is important, but it's not about how much you move. It's about how you move and how well you balance activity with rest." Margaret was shocked. She had always associated aging well with staying as busy and active as possible. The idea that her constant motion might be doing more harm than good felt like a contradiction. But the doctor's advice was clear. It was time to rethink her approach to staying healthy. That evening, Margaret sat quietly at her kitchen table, reflecting on her habits. She realized her body had been telling her something all along, through her aches, her fatigue, and her increasing difficulty keeping up with her own pace. She had been so focused on staying active that she had forgotten the importance of listening to what her body truly needed. With a deep breath, Margaret decided it was time for a change. She would stop trying to prove her vitality through endless motion and instead focus on moving smarter, resting better, and nourishing herself properly. It wasn't about giving up, it was about finding balance. For the first time in years, she felt a sense of hope and curiosity about what her next chapter could look like. Margaret left her doctor's office with a new perspective on aging and a commitment to make smarter, more balanced choices. The first step was learning to slow down while still maintaining her sense of purpose. Her doctor suggested 3 essential practices that could help her move smarter, recover better, and feel more energized. Margaret embraced them with an open mind. The first change she made was incorporating restorative movement into her routine. Instead of her usual long, brisk walks that left her knees aching, Margaret explored yoga and gentle stretching exercises. At first, she was skeptical. How could such slow, deliberate movements do anything for her health? But as the days turned into weeks, Margaret felt her body respond. Her balance improved, her joint pain lessened, and she noticed she could get out of bed in the morning without the stiffness that used to plague her. She even joined a small, welcoming yoga class at her community center, where she found a sense of camaraderie and encouragement. Next, Margaret turned her attention to her sleep. She realized she had spent years undervaluing the importance of rest. Her evenings were often spent catching up on TV shows, with the glow of the screen keeping her awake long into the night. Determined to make a change, she developed a calming bedtime routine. She sipped on chamomile tea, dimmed the lights, and avoided her phone or television for at least an hour before bed. She also made her bedroom a sanctuary, investing in a supportive mattress and blackout curtains to ensure a peaceful sleep environment. To her surprise, These small changes had a profound impact. For the first time in years, Margaret was getting a full night's rest, and she woke up feeling refreshed and ready for the day. Finally, Margaret revamped her approach to nutrition. She had always been an adventurous cook, but over the years, convenience foods had become a staple in her diet. Now, she took the time to plan her meals with care, focusing on nutrient-dense ingredients. Lean proteins, leafy greens, colorful vegetables, and foods rich in omega-3s became the stars of her plate. She found joy in experimenting with new recipes and even took a few cooking classes to learn about heart-healthy cuisine. Margaret's meals became not just fuel for her body, but an opportunity to nourish herself in a way that supported her energy and well-being. Within a matter of weeks, Margaret began to feel the effects of her new routine. Her aches and pains diminished, her energy levels soared, and she discovered a renewed appreciation for the simple joys of life. These three practices, restorative movement, quality sleep, and nourishing nutrition, weren't just changes to her daily habits, they were investments in her future. Margaret could feel her body thanking her with every step, stretch, and bite. By the time Margaret turned 75, her life looked completely different. Gone were the days of relentless activity that left her drained and aching. Instead, she had cultivated a lifestyle built on balance, intention, and care. She felt stronger and more energetic than she had in years, and her body seemed to echo the gratitude she felt for the changes she had made. Her morning routine now started with gentle yoga or a light stretch, which eased her into the day and left her feeling centered. She had replaced the frantic pace of her long walks with purposeful strolls through her neighborhood, often pausing to chat with friends or admire the flowers blooming along the path. In the evenings, Margaret focused on rest and recovery, cherishing the ritual of winding down with a warm cup of tea and a favorite book. The aches and pains that once held her back were now manageable, and her energy felt steady throughout the day. Margaret found herself enjoying activities she hadn't been able to fully appreciate before, like tending to her garden or playing with her grandchildren. With her newfound vitality, she even joined a local community group that organized wellness workshops for seniors, where she shared her journey and encouraged others to embrace the changes that had worked so well for her. Margaret's transformation wasn't just physical, it was emotional and mental as well. She felt a deeper connection to her own body and a renewed sense of confidence in her ability to care for herself. By learning to listen to what her body truly needed, rather than pushing herself to exhaustion, she had discovered a life that felt not only healthier, but also more joyful and fulfilling. Margaret often reflected on how far she had come. "I used to think that growing older meant you had to keep up with everything and everyone around you," she said. "But I've learned that it's not about moving more, it's about moving smarter, resting when you need to, eating to nourish, and living with intention can make all the difference." Ending message. Margaret's story is a powerful reminder that thriving in your later years doesn't mean pushing yourself harder. It means listening to your body and embracing habits that sustain you. Restorative movement, quality sleep, and nourishing nutrition aren't just for easing aches and pains. They're the foundation of a life filled with energy and purpose. After 70, it's not about how much you do, but how thoughtfully you do it. Slow down, prioritize rest, and choose activities that help you feel your best. Margaret's journey proves that it's never too late to create a life of balance, health, and happiness. As she loves to say, your golden years aren't about doing it all, they're about doing it right. Thank you for being with us today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more health tips to live your best life. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.